All right, let's try this again. Hi, I'm Christine Gritmon. This is Social, my weekly Facebook Live show where I talk about what's new in social media. And today my special guest is Katie, is it Marchese? Marchese. I'm the worst. Katie Marchese of Mario the Magician. Mario the Magician being, of course, her husband, Mario Marchese.
That's right.
And the really cool thing is that I think most of us cannot say that we know an actual full-time magician. But those of us here in Nyack do. And the amazing thing with any sort of performer, anytime a performer can just be a performer, no day job, no being supported by a spouse or anything, like that's just their job. It's always super impressive. Like, that's amazing. And Katie is a huge reason why Mario's able to do that, and they've been doing it for a decade, which is incredible. We are currently broadcasting from the Little Blue Bus, which is what they tour in, and anyone who has seen my Magic Family on YouTube is familiar with the Little Blue Bus. So I'm going to talk to Katie about how she has built the Mario the Magician brand and enabled this this great life, and how social media has been a big part of that. And Gina, you're right. Katie and Mario are awesome.
Hi, Gina.
So, why don't you tell us just a little bit about how a decade ago you just went for it and how you thought that might be possible?
Well, back then we didn't have kids. That helped. We didn't have a lot to lose. We had roommates, so, there was a little extra cushion there. We didn't pay a huge, massive amount of rent. So, well, like I said, we didn't have a ton to lose except, the momentum of our budding careers. Mario was a teacher aide.
I can see that.
Yeah, he was working with an amazing group of kids with disabilities that really changed his life. But he was, he wasn't a teacher yet, so he was in school, and his financial aid got cut.
Ooh.
So he's like, all right, I'm doing this magic thing on the weekends. And I looked at him and I'm like, you're making more money on the weekends than you are doing the teaching thing. And although it's amazing and fulfilling, I think the magic thing can be too.
Yeah.
And he's just so incredibly talented with it. And
it's not just magic. He's also a maker, which is... can you describe what a maker is? I mean, they make stuff.
Yeah, and it's like there's this whole movement, the maker movement, that's been, Make Magazine has kind of coined that, but it's something it's throwback to any era where people really got hands-on and decided that when they want something, they'll make it themselves. And, it doesn't mean that you have to make everything that you wear or own, but just the understanding of how things are made is important. Mario actually made a pair of his own jeans, I think maybe 5 pairs of his own jeans before he got to the good one. But he did that because he just felt like he needed an understanding of how this thing was made. If he's going to wear it every day, he wants to understand it. So his entire magic show is a reflection of that attitude. And instead of buying props, instead of buying props, he makes them. And he incorporates all sorts of crazy DIY robotics and electronics and doodads, and it's just it's like a mad inventor twist on a magic show. So it's definitely different than just the same old magic that you see at kids' parties. But yeah, that's a rundown.
So you decided to go for it. You guys decided 10 years ago. You weren't even married yet, right?
We weren't married yet.
Yep. And you decided to just go for it full time. So how did you take steps into that and to making sure that there was enough work there to happen?
Yeah. I mean, I stayed up from the moment I quit my job. I stayed up. I pulled a few all-nighters in the beginning just out of nerves, like, oh my gosh. I did a ton of cold emailing. I never did a cold call. I'm not a phone person.
Yeah, what did you do for a living before?
I was an administrative assistant in a big kitchen company in the city, one of those like high-end fancy schmancy kitchen companies, which was a really great group of people, and I loved working with them, but I didn't love working for someone else and doing something that I wasn't passionate about. So I always had the entrepreneurial spirit in me, and I just needed that outlet. And seeing Mario and what he did and believing in him on a personal level so much, it was just a natural next step to be like, dude, I can do the booking stuff. I know I can. I'll learn it. And and from there, it was a lot of nights of just staying up and emailing everyone I could think of. And slowly we were able to get gigs, and we had there was an agent, like a national magic company that they would book out other magicians. We worked with them for a little while. They paid us not the greatest fee, but it was something to get us going.
Yeah.
And eventually we were able to say goodbye to them and just do it on our own.
When do you feel like you were really, where you really reached a point where he was a brand? Because that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's such a cohesive brand. They've got this great kind of sort of steampunk look, and it's so organic to who he is, and it's so unique. Mm-hmm. So, like, how did that... Was that there from the beginning, or at some point did you realize, oh, we need a point of difference?
No, in the beginning, we tried to do everything. You know, Mario did adult gigs, kid gigs, walk around, stage, everything, because that's what we thought we needed to do. We took anything that came our way, and but we realized we were really diluting ourselves and diluting his talents by doing that. So we decided to uber focus. And the thing that he loved the most was working with kid and family audiences. It's what he excelled at the most. And so we're like, okay, so let's work on that show and just push that, market that, make that your brand, shove everything else off of our website and make it very clear what we offer. And from that point, it's when he really started to be more passionate about making props and becoming this maker magician, we call ourselves. And the brand started from there when we started to really focus. And this was all,
about how far into the business was this?
Probably halfway, like 5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it took us a long time just to be able to get the hang of being a magic business full time, and
there aren't a whole lot of like models for that for homegrown. You kind of hear of people once they're already corporately packaged,
and we knew a lot of magicians, and there was always a lot of advice out there, but we were like these two punk rock kids, and we're like, I don't want to do things the way you're telling me to do it, so we did everything our own way, and we made our own mistakes, and thank goodness it paid off in the end. But yeah, it's a long road and it's a lot of hard work, but yeah, what you see now is over 10 years of us putting everything into it. And it's funny because social media, I feel like, didn't really come into play until maybe around the time when we really started branding 5 years ago. Like we always had, I don't know when our Facebook page started, but I didn't understand how to use it yet until kind of recently.
Well, you're great at it. So now let's talk about kind of how you use social media, because that's pretty much your only marketing channel, right? Is digital. Sorry.
I want to see your face too.
Yeah. Sorry. And Nerdy Duo is right. Mario's cell phone, which he made himself, is the coolest phone ever. It's very cool. It kind of reminds me of a Wiimote, but it's like green and
it's like Lego-y
it's
looking.
Big and Zach Morrissey, but like not
exactly.
It's amazing. Anyway,
no one knows what it is when they're like, what is that? That's your phone? But yeah. So
and you can't go on
media.
Facebook on that phone. It's not a smartphone.
You can't.
But
it's a dumb phone, but it's a cool phone.
It is a cool phone. All right. So Facebook. When did you kind of realize, okay, we got to start using this? And
I think, like I said, maybe around the time when we were really rebranding, I started to take social media seriously, and I'd say it really wasn't until the past like 2 or 3 years that I really started to get how it's useful to start a community. Yeah. And that's what's been more valuable to us than anything. I think when we first started with it, I would use it just to post like, oh, we have a show coming up, or this is, a new product that we're putting out if you want to buy a coloring book, whatever. But it wasn't until I started, and I think social media has evolved a lot since then too.
Yeah.
But we started getting more feedback when we started giving more of ourselves. So I think the best decision that I've made on a marketing level was to work with a filmmaker. We worked with a great filmmaker named Cal, who's also a Nyacker.
Yes, Cal Toth, yay!
Yes. And he did a great 6-minute promo video. And I had I had a vision of what I wanted for that, and I knew what we wanted to say, and I knew that Cal would be a good person to put those into the type of art form that I was looking for, and he knocked it out of the ballpark. He really made something that told the story of Mario as a maker and his background a little bit, and in a nice 6-minute video that people could share, and a lot of people shared it. And that was the turning point where I realized, like, the people who are coming to us and interested in this video aren't necessarily clients. They might not even have kids. They might not be booking us. They might not live anywhere near us. But it's a community that's interested in what we're doing, and they're giving us positive encouragement, and it's making it a lot more exciting for us to keep doing what we're doing. So although, you know, the percentage of direct bookings from people who find us on Facebook might be low, it doesn't matter, because we're building this community and we're legitimizing our business through it. So when someone comes, I think, you know, most people come to our business through word of mouth or through a Google search at this point. So when they go to our website, it's very easy to go from our website to our social media pages. And when people see the swell of people around us, it makes them more interested in what we're doing. So more than just a magician now, he's this guy who's doing crazy things, and people care about it, and people want to find out more. So yeah, so it's that community thing that's been revolutionizing for us, this experience.
And that's really important, because grasping the fact that the whole appeal of social media is that's a two-way method of communication, you know. So in terms of your strategies for different social media platforms, can we talk a little bit about that? Because you really have a great grasp of doing different things on different platforms. You're not just blasting out the same stuff. So what is So what are your strategies kind of with that in Broadway?
Yeah, so we use Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Sometimes we'll do a Snap every once in a while, but we haven't really gotten to that yet. I mean, they're just very different forums. So with Facebook, I feel like that's a great place to post videos. You know, people really do watch them and share them. It's a great place to post a continuation of our storylines. Like, we've kind of tried to give people little bits of our stories. When we bought the little blue bus that we're sitting in right now, we posted a shot of Mario shaking the hand of the kid who sold it to us, and from then we posted shots of Mario's work on it. He completely gutted it and did a lot of work.
It's really cool. We'll have to do a shot of the van. At the end.
So people started to be invested in that story, and I feel like Facebook is great for that type of thing, where you're really getting people in on a storyline, and then they'll continue to follow it the whole way.
Is there any guideline you have as to what does and does not work in a Facebook video from your experience with your audience? Yeah, I mean,
it's weird. I stopped focusing so much on numbers because I realized, and with everything in social media, you got to get out of that number head game, because it doesn't matter, if you have 10,000 followers or if you have 300 followers. It's the quality of what you're feeding them, and it will grow organically, but we have pretty modest numbers. We don't have any crazy social media numbers, but the amount of feedback we get on things we post is from comments, but not also comments, is we get people sending us messages, emails, sending us things in the mail,
Oh my God.
It's really
engagement.
Yeah, it's really cool, and so I think that's my advice with stuff. If you post a video, don't worry about how many views you're getting. Worry about the comments that you're getting and the feedback from the people who watch it, because that's what's important. And as your numbers grow, the numbers on your video views will grow, and all of that.
But in terms of what does get the most reaction and engagement, and what people seem to really be watching and connecting with, is there a common thread, or do you just kind of do what you do?
No, I mean, I think we started the most video work that we do is the My Magic Family series that we have on YouTube, and we share that on Facebook. We try to kind of bring everything from YouTube to Facebook. So we like the searchability of YouTube, so we kind of use that. I know one thing that we want to get more into is the Facebook Live videos, because I feel like it's a really great tool, but we haven't really touched into that except for some stuff we did while on tour last year. But the type of stuff that works best for us is when we're giving something of ourselves on a personal level. Nobody wants to feel like they're being sold to. So I think, when we decided to do the My Magic Family videos and really share our backstory, people started to respond a ton. And our clients, when we're coming into magic shows, all of a sudden they know that I'm in the car with two kids, and they're giving us advice on where to go around town, and it just feels like so much more of an experience. And
you're letting your community in. You're not just giving them something, you're letting them in.
Right. And I'm not expecting them just to book us and have it be a business relationship. If we're going to do the social media thing, have it be social, because that's what it's supposed to be. And
I love that.
Yeah, and it's not, like our kids, you'll see them in and out in the videos. They're we have kids. They're not super involved in talking on camera yet. Maybe when they're older they will be. But for now, you see glimpses of them, but you get a general idea of what our family is about and what our philosophy is. And that seems to be the most popular type of thing for people to watch.
And that's always a tricky line, like a tricky decision to make when you have a personal brand. How personal do you get with it, especially if there's kids involved? You know, like, how much do you let people in? And how much do you say, no, I want this line of privacy to be right here? And so was that a discussion, or were you guys just both like, you know what, we're open books?
No, I mean, this wasn't intuitive, and especially for me, you know, Mario's used to being on stage and having everyone stare at him all the time. For me, I was always
But even that could be like a big wall between the stage persona and the person who lives in real life.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, overall, I feel like he was more open to having people know him and his philosophies. I was way more closed off in private. But I think I just realized, like, if we want to take things to the next level, we need to, like, feed people in a way where, you know, they're not, and it's for me too. Like, I'm getting more out of it now that I opened up a little. And people don't know everything. We're not, you know, we're not doing, like, Facebook Live while we're eating breakfast. And, you know, it's, what we post is very curated, so you're seeing what we want you to see, you know. So it's very private still to me, but we're sharing our beliefs and we're inviting people to be a part of, like, you know, this kind of tour movement and the stuff that we're doing. And it's, like I said, super fulfilling.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And to that end, actually, there's an award-winning film made by the aforementioned Cal Toth from Nyack, Building Magic, which is a great film and really, really gets into, you know, how Mario became who he is now.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So, Facebook and YouTube. How do you differentiate your strategy for Instagram and Twitter?
So Instagram is, I think, my favorite because I really love just the imagery, and my biggest hobby is, aside from booking and all the magic stuff, is the photo editing. I love editing photos.
You are so good at it. If you look at the Mario the Magician Instagram, it's really a great example of how to visually brand yourself in a really consistent way. There's, you know, a consistency to the image quality, a consistency to the color palette. It just really, and it all fits really well with the existing brand feel, which is a combination of curated and homespun, honestly, when it comes down to it. Like, it's got a bit of grit, but at the same time, it's not accidental. Right. You know, it looks very, it's fantastic. What do you do that with? Beyond your own eye and talent, like
I mean, I have several apps. I have like a kind of cocktail of apps that I use, and
do you save particular filters, or is it really a lot more individual than that?
It's kind of individual tuning of photos, and once you figure out what style you like, you can remember, like, okay, I did this to this photo and it made it look like that, and I can do this. But if you're kind of interested in doing an intro version to that, like, pick a filter that you like and stay kind of consistent with that, because it really does make a difference. People expect a certain style from you, and, you know, then they're more interested to follow it because there's something that's continuing from photo to photo.
How would you describe the look that you established?
I mean, I think it's colorful but gritty. It's got like a punk rock side, but, you know, we're not, I don't know, there's definitely that maker DIY feel to everything we do, because that's a reflection of Mario's show. So through the photos, we kind of want people to feel that, you know, even if they're not seeing a snippet of the actual show, we want them to get that vibe. So, and I don't know, I have fun with it. I don't know how I'd describe the photos.
What kind of apps do you use? You said you have a little cocktail.
I use Snapseed. I mean, they're pretty basic. Yeah. But it's just what you do with it. So I use Snapseed. I edit in Instagram. For some things, I use Mextures, and there's a bunch of them.
And do you usually take the pictures on your phone or on a real camera?
I do a mixture of both.
Yeah, there's a few things where I'm like, okay, this image quality, as good as the iPhone is for images, I'm like, this has to be from a real camera.
I do a mixture of both, but I always have my phone. Afterlight is another app that I use. But I always have my phone on me because I never want to miss anything.
Yeah.
But there's times where I carry, if I'm at an event, I'll carry my real camera and use that. But yeah, Instagram is unique because you can really go out there in the community and kind of get new relationships. It's different from Facebook from a business perspective, because as a Facebook business page, you can't go out and it's not the same. You can't go to people's personal pages and get them to your page. You can do that through ads, which are great on Facebook. But Instagram is cool because with your page, you can go out and like and comment on other people's pages. And it's a great way to kind of build a community organically and based on things that you're really drawn to and interested in. So we like Instagram a lot because of that. Like we have a lot of magician and maker friends that we connected with on there. And Mario and I both it's our nighttime activity, like going through and then checking out new stuff on Instagram. So that's, I think, one of the best things about Instagram is that ability to really reach out as a business page.
And that's so important to do. Again, it's not just Facebook that has to be a two-way method of communication. It's all social media. Yeah. How about Twitter?
Twitter, I'm not the greatest at it. I feel like when I really put in effort and I'm really talking and engaging and communicating in conversations with people, that's when it's most beneficial. I don't right now put in the most energy into that one.
Yeah.
But there have been times when we're working on specific projects where we really want feedback from people where I do engage, and Mario and I take turns, reaching out to people that way. And it is the kind of platform where you can have conversations with people. And it's cool because it's also the kind of forum where you can reach out to those celebrities and people and sometimes get a response, which is fun, and it's like those exhilarating moments where so-and-so retweeted me, or, so I think that's more on Twitter than I see on Facebook or Instagram. But yeah, retweets are fun and kind of, you can talk to anyone on Twitter, so it's cool. But you're better at it than I am. I'm
still working on it, though, in all honesty. Twitter's a tricky nut to crack.
It is.
It's kind of, I feel like it's sort of best for, again, interacting with people in a very open way, but also kind of announcements and things like that. I mean, yes, you can post videos on Twitter, but I feel like it's not as much of a thing.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we've had a few things kind of take off on Twitter every so often, but it's hard to get those moments on there unless you're really engaging. But yeah, like everything, it's like you pick the mediums that you really enjoy and do those the most, because then it'll be more interesting to you and you'll get the most feedback, So yeah, for us it's Facebook and Instagram are our two faves.
And I know that you've talked about the importance of nurturing your communities on those platforms. Is there a real difference kind of between your Facebook community for Mario the Magician's brand and your Instagram community?
There is. I would say Instagram, although there is some overlap, of course, Instagram is more magicians, makers, people who really appreciate the performance side of what Mario does. Facebook tends to be more families. So they tend to be the people who've actually come to see shows or who are interested in coming to see shows. And the good thing about that is that we're able to sell tickets for tours, through Facebook, which is an amazing resource. I mean, it's totally changed things for us that we don't have to physically send flyers. Hi, Gilda. Out to Boulder, Colorado, or wherever we're going. We can actually do a lot of targeted ads on Facebook and get our tickets sold that way. And it feels like we've created a community before we've even arrived in these cities, and it makes it so much more fun for us because we're and we can ask people what are some good places to eat while we're in town, and it just feels like more of a relationship than us just showing up somewhere, doing a show, and leaving.
And that goes back to the whole real person element of your brand, because Mario, it's not just there's a performer up on stage. There's this whole family behind him. He's a real person, and they're actually, there. And that makes people want to support you more, honestly.
Yes, it's true.
The fact that he's not this, super polished, whatever. Although his act is certainly...
Oh, he's a great performer, but people say to us all the time, when I found out that you're a husband and a dad, that changed things for us. It's we hear that.
There's an extra warmth.
Yeah. They're you can relate to us, we get it, because our client base is parents.
Yeah.
So I want them to know that we're parents too, and we understand how hard it is to throw a birthday party. It's not fun. Like, I get it. But that having that little connection just makes people more willing to work with us, and so it's definitely beneficial.
Now the tour thing is fascinating. Now how do you decide where to go? Is it kind of where you want to be, or do you kind of suss out where people are?
Yeah, it's a little of both. Like we will have people reach out to us at some point and be like, hey, we'd really love to have you out in, like, this is what happened for this tour. We'd really love to have you guys come out to Boulder. So we have 2 or 3 connections there, people that we've stayed in touch with through social media over the past several years. And they're very willing to help us promote it, and we're just excited to meet their families too.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's one of those places that, like, Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, sounds great. We'll go there. So once we pick one kind of end destination, then we'll fill in the way there and the way back. Nice. So we have, sometimes we'll stop in places that we know we have family. Sometimes I also reach out to major cities along the way and see if I can get any gigs that aren't putting the pressure on us to sell tickets.
Yeah.
So, for example, like, we're doing a Tinker Fest at the Omaha Children's Museum on the way to Colorado, and it'll be a great stop for us, because it's not, they do the ticket sales. I don't have to worry about it. They're just hiring Mario to come in and be a part of the event. So it's a good.
That's great.
Yeah. So we fill it in, and then Mario also does magic lectures, which is something that, unless you're a magician, you probably don't know even exists. But
how do you market those differently?
So it's a little harder, because you have to target magicians, and I feel like that's more us going onto magic forums, getting, like, the Society of American Magicians to post something for us, things like that. You have to really super target it, because it's not open to people who are just coming to see Mario. He's giving away secrets,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very specific kind of marketing.
Magicians weren't supposed to ever do that.
Ooh, you can give it, as long as you're willing to learn and perform, then I think it's good. But yeah, so that's a whole other thing. But so he'll be doing a couple of those on tour as well. So it's a variety of stuff that keeps him excited throughout the tour too. So we'll be gone for a month this summer.
Wow.
Which is 2 weeks longer than last year, in the bus, which has no air conditioning.
Oh God.
And yeah, so we were considering, we're like, I have family in Arizona and friends in Arizona, and they're dying to get us out there, and we're like, we can't, I'm sorry, we don't have air conditioning. We'll do it in the winter or fall, but there's just no way. It would be terrible.
We need a Kickstarter going for get air conditioning for the Little Blue Bus. Can it even handle air conditioning?
I don't think so. I mean, there are some aftermarket air conditioning units, but I think it takes too much horsepower away from I don't know. I don't know anything about cars. I'm just making stuff up right now.
And that's the other cool thing about the Little Blue Bus. Like, to the point of Mario being a maker, he basically made Volkswagen made this thing, but he basically, I mean, what was it like when you guys got it?
It was running. That's why, we bought this specific bus because the engine was really good.
Yeah.
And, so we wanted it to be reliable because we're taking 2 kids on the road. But it needed a ton of work on the interior. We laid, like, the flooring, and Mario upholstered the seats. So
I'll be doing a video tour of that at the very end.
And we did a lot of touches on it. Basically everything on the inside, the ceiling, it's all new. But he actually learned how to work on this car by building a kit car called a Bradley GT, which is, like, you buy this shell and it sits on a VW Bug chassis, and he built that it was just in parts. So that gave him the confidence that he would be able to fix whatever needs to be fixed if something happens, which it will inevitably happen. Last summer we broke down after 4 hours into the tour, and I'm like, no, this is not happening already. This is terrible. Do? Oh my gosh, I was so concerned that this was how it was going to be the whole time, but we, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So we were on the side of the road in Pennsylvania, and this little old lady came out and asked our kids if they'd have wanted water. It was so sweet. So she there was a place there we could go to if we needed to, which we didn't need to. But this guy pulled up in another VW. I think someone had tipped him off that we were there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and he
like
came,
a person just word of mouth locally,
yeah,
real life, or like
real
did you
life.
post about
we
it?
We didn't post. I mean,
wow.
we had done a
after.
Facebook Live, but only, I mean, no one there saw it.
Oh, wow.
You know? So it was someone passed us by on the road, called their buddy who had a VW bus, and he pulled up, and he was the nicest guy. We're friends with him on Facebook now. And he got down and dirty and helped us. And we also had the Freccia brothers, which is our amazing VW garage in Greenwich, Connecticut, who does all the work on our bus, like mechanically. They were on the phone with us, and they diagnosed the problem via phone.
Wow.
Which is insane. Just listening to the sound of the engine over the phone, they were able to tell us what was wrong. That's and incredible. Walk us through it with the help of Kyle is his name, who was there. And yeah, it
takes a village.
And that was it. Luckily, after that, there weren't any other mechanical issues. We did have a window malfunction at one point, but that was it.
Well, that is awesome. Is there anything... Sorry, just to get back to the social media and marketing thing, is there any avenue of social media or digital marketing that you guys haven't really explored yet, but that you might want to get into, or a different way of doing things on the existing platforms? Yeah, no, definitely Facebook Live is, I feel like, where it's at right now. And it's just... Yeah, it is. It is. I think getting over the fear of going live is something we have to deal with. We did a little bits on tour last year, and we're definitely going to do a lot of Facebook Live on tour this summer. But I feel like it's just a way that people are engaging right now at the moment, and then it saves for you so people can go back and watch it later with the replay. And I think that's what people crave right now. So I definitely want to get more into that, and you'll be seeing more of that from our page soon, hopefully. Is that mostly going to be like shows or behind the scenes, or? I don't want to do shows. I think, we're kind of protective of the actual show. We want people to see that live whenever possible. But a lot of like backstage prep stuff, and then the travels will be the fun parts, I think. Yeah. People like to see when we break down and things like that. So we'll definitely do more of that. Nice. Have you gotten into Instagram stories or anything like that? Yeah, we do Instagram stories, and I think they're fun. People do seem to watch them when you look at the numbers. I don't know how long they're really sitting there paying attention to it, but it's nice little tidbits to kind of keep feeding people your story. And we try to do, like, when we're at a show, we'll do a few leading up photos, and then you'll see a post from the show, so it kind of gives people a little behind the scenes from the regular page. So it's fun, and I enjoy watching other people's stories too, so I think it's a good outlet. Nice. Yeah. Who do you watch who gives you ideas? On Instagram, I mean, there's just a whole bunch of really amazing performers from all over the world that we pay attention to. There's a really cool troupe of magicians in Chile who are really inspiring and cool, and we would never have known about them if it weren't for Instagram. So we love watching their stuff. Mario is constantly laughing at their shenanigans. So I think that these other performers, they don't have to necessarily be magicians, but they inspire us and they inspire Mario, and I like seeing how they're presenting their businesses too. So it's always, a lot of back and forth there. Cool. Yeah. And Barbara's asking about Snapchat, and we don't do a lot of Snapchat, and that's just because we don't have a big following there yet. And I think Snapchat, it seems to be really good for the generation a little bit younger than us. Yeah. Like, they're really into it. And they don't really have kids. They don't have kids. Like, it's not our audience so much. And then it's also great for, like, celebrities. Like, they use it a lot. So, like, we like watching other people on there, but we don't interact as much. So maybe one day. I think it'll keep evolving. I don't know. We'll see. I think once Instagram did the stories, it kind of took a little away from the desire to do Snapchat, honestly. Especially since you've already got an audience there. So exactly. Do you do anything different in terms of advertising strategy on social media or digital media in general, or is it kind of your posts? No, I do a lot of targeted ads, especially when I have an event coming up. So aside from what you see posted on our actual page, I do ads that you're not seeing there. So it's targeted to wherever we're going to be, and the age demographic who are most likely to be parents and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm squarely in your demographic, so I've certainly seen.
Yeah,
you'll
you'll see the things, and I like to do. There's an option when you do a Facebook ad to have a video run, and I like doing that because I feel like when people see a moving image, they're more engaged. I get a lot more feedback from those posts than just a static post. So yeah, we do a lot of Facebook ads, and the platform changes a lot. So you have to kind of like, you can't. I know you know this. You can't get too invested in one strategy because it's going to change in a few months or a year, and so you kind of have to be flexible and just keep figuring it out. And I'm constantly realizing new things that I didn't know about what I can do with it. So just, my advice with that is play around, keep trying new things, plop $10 here or whatever and see what it does, and if it works, do it again.
Awesome. let's scroll back and see if there's been more feedback here from our adoring fans. Katie and Mario are awesome. Yes, they are. The bus is the best place to do this.
It is the best.
Mario's cell phone is cool. We said that already. Hi, Alex. Hi, Maya. Marcella. Yes, they are great. Hi, Gilda. Hi, Mom. Katie is a great guest. I agree.
Hi, Christine's mom.
Totally go to one of those. Yes. Yes, 3D printed wood filament piece.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll show that too in the front.
We'll show that. Exciting.
Yes.
This episode is fantastic. Snapchat, we talked about it. Movies are so great, and it makes me feel invested in the path this is taking you. That's very true. Like, that's really the best part of your brand. How
Mario!
It makes people want you to do a Mario himself. Hey! Yeah! That's awesome.
Mario's in California right now, and he's taking a red eye tonight.
Yep.
And he's performing in Nyack tomorrow.
Is it sold out?
It's almost there. So
almost there, and it's to benefit the Liberty Avenue School playground.
Yes. So I think there's still a few tickets. So if you guys go on our MarioTheMagician.com or the Facebook page, you'll see links to get tickets if you're local and want to see the show. Yeah, it's at
the Nyack Center. It's fabulous. And you guys just did a fundraiser like a month ago in Nyack, too.
We did,
for Nursery School of the Nyacks,
Nursery School of the Nyacks. Mario does that one every year. It's always a lot of fun.
That's really a great thing that you guys give back to your community
this one,
so nicely.
Yeah, this is our daughter's school, so it's, it's near and dear to our hearts. And
she'll be playing on that playground.
She's so excited to show her daddy off to everybody. Like,
as she should be.
So excited. So everyone come say hi to Gigi too when you come to the show.
Yes, and say hi to me too. I'm going to be
there.
Awesome. Last question, and I'm sorry. This kind of goes back to something that we talked about at the beginning, but in terms of how you kind of distill the organic into what's going to be part of the brand. I know that's a big, weird, kind of esoteric question, but like, is there any sort of tip you can give for how to, because people are wary about personal branding because it feels like, oh, well, if I go too far with it, I seem fake, or they're worried about giving too much, or,
Yeah, no, I mean, we definitely ride a line, and like I said before, what we do put out there is very curated, so it's not just a feed of our lives. I don't think that would have the target or make sense for anybody watching.
But the big difference between curated and fake, like, you guys are very real.
Right, yeah. I mean, we give you, like, it's more like when we do a new video or a new post that's on the more personal level, we think a lot about what we want to say, and, what do we want you guys to know about what's going on, and, so, like, when we have some really amazing news, it's a no-brainer. Like the latest stuff that Mario's been doing, like with David Blaine.
Helping him come up with his act. Hello.
He's been having an amazing opportunity to work with him, and that was a no-brainer to us because obviously, like, we want you guys to know what's going on, and you would be interested because it has to do with magic. But the other stuff, like the more behind-the-scenes or family-oriented stuff, it's all deriving from a message. So before we make a new video, it's like, what do we want to say right now, and what do we feel people will relate to or gain something from, and sometimes it's like, what do we need to hear from people to keep us moving too. So we'll put out, if we're having a struggle, like we did a video about Gigi and how we're kind of trying to overcome her like boredom of going to magic show after magic show, and I did a video about that. I know.
Yeah. But it is. I mean,
for any
over
kid,
and over.
yeah. So and we got amazing feedback from people who watched that video and gave us some great ideas. So it was this really awesome give and take. And now we're going to start a pen pal program for Gigi
Oh,
this summer, which was something that someone suggested. And so it's, yeah, like we're getting, and it's making her more excited and us more excited, and people are really engaging, and that's what we want.
Love it. Love it. All right. Well, now we're gonna just do a tour of the bus, I think, now,
Awesome.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So move that thing. So first of all, look at this kick-ass floor. What is this floor like made of?
These are skateboard tiles that we
tiles.
bought
That's so amazing.
and didn't know what we wanted to do with, and then we got the bus and we're like, this is perfect.
That is perfect. That's very cool. And then you've got the gear shift here.
Mm-hmm.
Who's this little guy?
That's, I don't know, some weirdo, I think they call it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. That is the
Little
wood
blue
filament.
bus.
The nerdy duo were asking about that. This was 3D printed with a wood
Wow.
filament that has actual wood grain in it.
That's so cool.
Yep. This
what's
was carved for us by one of our Instagram followers,
Oh, that's so cool.
and he sent it in the mail.
Wow.
It's all carved from a single piece of wood, and it's just beautiful.
It's
the VW
really
symbol.
neat.
Yeah.
And just little details like this.
His name is Smarter Hands on Instagram. He's one to follow too.
Nice.
These are
Wow.
Mario carved these out of skateboards.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yep.
This is seriously the coolest bus ever.
And then he upholstered the seats.
Upholstered the seats. This one has Christine Gritmon ink business cards on it.
Perfect.
It doesn't always.
We found some the original bench seats. It was missing those, so
Oh,
we
wow.
picked those up for really cheap, and then Mario reupholstered them and repadded them and everything. And he did the curtains too. He's a man of many talents, this guy.
Nice. And then you've got the cool
Painted the
ceiling.
ceiling.
Love
There's
it.
still lots more we want to do, but
Great. And now we're going to take you outside the little blue bus just so you can see what the heck we're talking about if you're not already familiar with it. We're in the driveway, so it's not going to be a hugely visible view, but the little blue bus. It's so cute. I'm surprised you guys don't have a vanity plate.
I know. We need to do something with it. I think this summer we're gonna add a hashtag somewhere.
Yes, hashtag little blue bus.
Yeah, people can
Hashtag it's a family business.
Exactly.
Hashtag my magic family.
Yep.
Hashtag it all. Slow moving vehicle.
That's Mario's favorite decal.
All right, well, I'm going to turn this back around. And thank you so much,
Thank
Katie. You were
Yeah.
fantastic. This
You're
was
awesome.
great. Follow oh, whoops, I didn't turn it around properly.
Oh.
There we are. It's like I'm new at this.
Hug again.
Yes, but thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for letting us in here. Sorry, and for giving us your insights, because you really do such a
Anytime.
great job
Thank you.
of really making people feel connected to your business, and that's a
Thank
skill.
you so much.
You know?
And I just need to say something because
Uh-huh.
I feel like you need the credit that
Aw,
you deserve.
thanks.
But she's amazing. And for anyone who just doesn't have the desire to do the social media stuff, this is the person you contact. Because she does it all, and she also, if you're someone who just wants to learn more about it, she does all the research and educates herself and goes to those conferences to find out all that nitty-gritty stuff about what's coming, what's useful, and she's the person to talk to.
Oh,
so.
thank you. Of course. Well, all right. So thanks for tuning into Social. I do this every week, every Friday at like noon or 1. Stay tuned. Given the week, and I have a new guest every time, and thank you very, very much.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.